So now, some of the concepts of web, some protocol understanding we should have if you are going to start your journey being a programmer or web developer or creating some websites. So in this session, in this topic, the topics we're covering here, these are some, you can say, the prerequisite you should know if you're going to be a developer, if you're going to be like a web developer, programmer. It has nothing to do with any programming language. If anybody developing a project in Java web application, you should also know that. If anybody developing an application, web application in .NET, that person should also know this one. If anybody developing any application in Python using their frameworks like Django or Flask, they should know this one. Even if you are developing your application using PHP, you should know these terms and what are the meaning of these web terms. The first is the HTTP. So what is the meaning of HTTP? Anybody can help me to understand?
Hypertext Transfer Protocol.
Very nice. Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Anybody? What it does?
That enables communication online.
Can you repeat again, please?
HTTP is a protocol that enables communication online, like transferring data from one machine to another.
Great. Transferring data from one machine to another. Anybody else?
It is used to create a web pages also.
It's not used to create web pages.
So to load web pages.
Yeah, to load web pages through the protocol, right?
Okay.
Anybody else?
And also it is used to define page layout or elements within a page.
It is used to define, pardon me, again repeat please.
Page layouts.
Page layouts, no. It has nothing to do with page layout or designing of the pages. It's only helping to transfer the data using some protocol from one machine to another machine, right? So see, one machine is connected to another machine. Yeah,
so
please.
most important that HTTP enables the client so that it can communicate with the server.
Yes, communicate with the web server, right? This protocol help you to connect with the web server. You are connecting with the website, like I'm typing www.google.com. I'm in my browser, right? But how that is connected with the Google? This protocol is helping you to connect with the Google server and fetching some information. You see the search box, search Google search form, you can see. So there is just some rules, regulations written using this protocol, and those protocols browsers are helping to connect to the web server, right? You type in the browser, na? HTTP, then www.google.com, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now, anybody familiar with these terms, transmission control protocol, internet protocol, these things?
Yes.
Heard?
Yes, sir.
Seems like you've seen this somewhere. Where?
Sir, in networking.
Networking. Yes. Computer networks book, I think everybody studied, and there you can see some models. One is the OSI model, another is the TCP/IP model, right?
Model. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if you see in OSI model, there are 7 layers, right? And here in,
Yes.
in TCP IP, there are 4 layers. Sometimes written as a 5 layers, but it's a 4 layers, right?
layers.
So what is the meaning of these protocols?
So basically, it connects computer system in a network.
Yes. Some rules and regulations are defined
Regulations.
in each protocol, right? The first layer is application layer. Why I am discussing these layers? Because we are studying HTTP protocol, right? And HTTP protocol lies between application layer. You got?
Yes.
Where HTTP protocol lies? At which layer? And application layer, right? And there are some other TCP IP models like transport layer, network internet layer, network access layer. These are some high level layers. We are not going to deal with these things. Just for understanding between you should know that you are going to develop web applications. You generally see that you use the HTTP. And what this HTTP does, HTTP is the protocol. Protocol means some rules and regulations are defined to connect from your machine to the some website server, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, see the application layer. What the application layer does? Responsible for end-to-end communication and error-free delivery of data. It shields the upper layer applications from the complexity of data, right? So whatever there is end-to-end communication is there, we will use the application layer. In application layer there is end-to-end communication, and we have nothing to worry about how the data packet is transmitting, how data is moving. Application layer is only making sure what are the some protocol I should send some data that I can connect to that server. So 3 main protocols present in this layer are HTTP and HTTPS, SSH and TP, right? So generally we use the HTTP and HTTPS and SSH, right? So now we'll talk about the HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. The protocol used to transfer hypertext between 2 computers is known as the hypertext protocol, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. This protocol means the rules and regulations written in this HTTP is helping to transfer hypertext. Hypertext means it can be text, images, multimedia files between 2 computers, right? So also HTTP provides a standard between a web browser and a web server to stabilize the communication, right? So you are using your web browser, you are typing www.google.com here. If I am typing here, I am typing here google.com, right? It's loading. In browser you are typing. If you see here, what is there? HTTPS.
HTTP. Yes, sir.
So
HTTPS. Yes.
yeah, previously few years back there was only HTTP. Later on, as HTTPS is created, HTTPS protocol came into existence. So here S means it's a secure HTTP. Whatever the data will transmit between you and the server or the Google will be securely transmitted. Some encryption will be happen so that someone between your computer and the server of the Google, if you try to theft some data or try to sniffing or do any harm to your data, they will never to understand what you are sending. So SSL, basically for that you heard about SSL, Secure Socket Layer, SSL. So basically if you see connection is secure, certificate is valid, here one SSL certificate is installed, right? That is helping to turn this into the HTTPS. Either if this certificate is installed on the server, basically it's making sure that if you connect to the google.com, Google has installed this SSL, right? Certificate. Whenever type this Google, whatever the data you will send from your browser to the Google, it will be securely go to the Google server. So you see in these days, almost all the websites are using HTTPS instead of HTTP. So you know the reason why HTTP and HTTPS are there? What is the difference between HTTP and HTTPS?
Secure. HTTPS is more secure.
Yeah, HTTPS is more secure. Whatever, suppose that you are filling a form in any website for registration or filling a form of some examination or you are providing your sensitive information about your personal information to send to particular organization. So in between that, the data transmit through various channels, various gateways. So someone can connect on those gateways and can access your data if those are not encrypted, not securely transmitting. So SSL is making sure that even they can somehow sniff their data, they will not able to read what exactly written in that way, in that data, right? So this is the biggest advantage of HTTPS. So this is the HTTP and HTTPS protocol, and it's always lies between which layer of the TCP/IP? Application layer. Correct. So here, HTTP provides a standard between a web browser and web server to stabilize a connection. Set of rules. What is the meaning of protocol? What is the meaning of protocol?
Rules and regulations.
Set of rules.
Set of rules for transferring data, text, images, and other multimedia files from one computer to another computer, right?
Another computer.
Give me 1 second, please. Sorry guys. Now, how the HTTP works. So you type the URL in the browser. Here I am typing the URL, right? So after typing, what happens? URL sent to the domain name
DNS.
server, DNS. So anybody can tell me what is the role of DNS? Anyone? What is the role of DNS?
Translate.
Translate the domain name into a specific IP address.
Yes, we know google.com, but internally it's connect to the server IP, right? So URL sent to the DNS domain name server, right? And domain name server contains the records of all websites in this world, and it also contains this website has this IP address, right? If I say you, this is the google.com, but internally google.com is not in communication. What our browser communicates with the server, their IP address, right? But Google has taken this name and connected this DNS google.com name with some IP. So internally, that's why, because to remember this is easy. You can easily remember google.com. But if I say you, this is the IP of Google, suppose that I'm typing ping. One second. I'm typing here ping google.com, right? You see? What is the IP of Google? 142.250.192.110. So what is easy to type in the browser? This one or this one?
Google.com.
Google.com. But what if you are typing this one? This is also loading.
Yes. We can't remember.
This is also loading, right?
Yes, sir.
So, to make it easy to understand, to make it, any website cannot be memorized by their users by their IP name, right? So,
Yes, sir.
we always use the domain name of that website. So when you will type let me stop this, it will keep running this, right? You type the URL sent to the domain name server, where there is a table of mapping between domain name and the IP.
Yes.
So DNS first check the records of this URL in their database, right? DNS will receive this google.com, DNS will check google.com in their database. Then it will return, what it will return? IP address to the browser. And browser is able to send request to the actual server. Domain name is not a server. IP is the address of the server. Then browser is able to send request to the actual server. After the server sends data to the client, connection will be closed. So basically, this is how HTTP works. HTTP helping this complete exercise. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Very nice. You see, I've created one picture. Hope this make more sense to you. So here you put some HTTP request. It's not a domain server. Basically, it's a google.com, and you get some response. In between that, there is a domain and server also here, right? Whatever you type, always go what it's calling HTTP request, right? It will go to the web server after finding the domain name server here, DNS IP address, and you will get HTTP response. Let me show you something. You see here network. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So suppose I'm just loading this google.com. You see, lots of things are loading here, right?
Yes, sir.
First is google.com, then this one. Some fonts are also loading, some fonts are also loading. Fonts means some design font, right? Because this is some style of writing, na? Here some font is there. Font is loading, then this is also, see, this is one image is loading, the color of this, whatever the PNG image, this one, right? You see, this is the another image loading, some request has been sent to the Google, lots of, once, see, I'm just type this one, so much request is going to the server, to the Google, you see. So basically these are the HTTP request, and I did some, like this is what is going, some image, this is the font. If you see, this is the headers, right? So in request, these are the things sent to the server. What is the URL requested? This is the font method was get, and once successfully that font was loaded, what was the status code? 200. What is the IP address of remote? Where this font is available? Here. What was the policy? This was the policy. These are the response header I'm getting, right? Lots of response I'm getting from there. These are the response whenever I'm connecting with that website. So these are some headers and information we always exchange between a website whenever we open any website. So HTTP request, common information that is generally present in all HTTP requests are requesting means, HTTP request means you are trying to open a website, right? You are trying to open a website. You see here request header. This is the request header. So request header means I'm sending this data to the Google to get some information. So I request, there is origin, referrer, there is some platform, user agent is also sending that from which browser I'm accessing this website, right? So these are the information we send. Suppose you are searching something. I'm typing, searched something. This. I'm searching this one, right? So if you see in network, you see this is response header, this is request header. Request header, what is the request I'm sending? I'm sending to the google.com method get path. This is the path. Scheme HTTPS, accept encoding, cookie, referrer, all this information sending to the server. So these all are known as the HTTP request. These are the information I'm sending to the Google server, right? After sending this 25 request information, I'm getting these are the response. Right? So HTTP version, URL, method, request headers and body. These are the generally request code into the HTTP request. In response, what we get? Some response like HTTP status code. If I have, see, this was the response now. So in general, it's categorized. In response, you are getting 200 code. A status code, that is a status code. Anybody know this status code? 200, okay? What is the meaning of status code? Anybody? Please help me. Here status code 200 means
100.
sorry,
100, sir, minimum status code.
not 100 minimum. Here 200 status code means whatever requested you have successfully executed. You got the response whatever you requested for. This is the success code, right? What is the meaning of this one? I'm typing google.com/123. Why this is coming? What the response code is giving?
404.
The meaning of 404 is
Error.
error. This
Error.
page is not on the
Already.
server. This particular request URL is not on the server.
Server.
Yes.
Server.
But here, if you see, inspect, go to the network, I can load this one. See what is happening here. You see what status code you are getting. 404. So 404 code you are getting, it means the URL you are trying to access server is not able to help you. Not found. That URL is not on the server, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
200 means successful, that request whatever is sent delivered to you in your browser.
Yes, sir.
Then HTTP headers, HTTP body, HTTP head, these are the HTTP headers. Basically these are the headers. These are the headers, sorry. These are the HTTP headers. In headers we send some data, right, to the server. And you see here are some response code. If the response code is live between 100 to 199, means that is informational response. If the response code is live between 200 to 299, that is successful response. If that code is live between 300 to 399, that is redirection message. If the code live between 400 to 499, that is client error response. Like 404, that is error. If your response you are getting and a status code is 500 to 599, means server error response. See how HTTP is working here. This is your computer or laptop. This is the server. Suppose that this is a Google server. So what happens when you type your URL here, google.com, a connection is open using HTTP. Then that connection will try to connect to the server, and you get the response, the connection is closed. Once you get all the response, what happens? Connection is closed.
Closed.
Yeah, this is known as not a persistent connection, and here some server supports persistent connection open, HTTP request has been opened, and in between that you can also search another thing. If you are in the same browsers opened, you can send multiple requests, multiple response, connection which keep open. So this is known as persistent connections. So here it's fast, it's or not. So it's only depends on the server. Is the server allowing persistent connection or not? So someone background, some noise is coming. Please mute yourself. Okay, thank you. So you see difference between persistent connection and multiple connections. Here once I open a website, I have, suppose you search Google, HTTP connection open, go to the server, you got some response from the server, search result, and connection is closed, right? Here you open the google.com, you search something, you got some result, again searching, connection is not closed, connection is still open, again searching, getting some result, again searching, getting some result. After some time connection will be closed. So connection is little live here for some duration, right? It's not like on every request of my connecting to the website, every request every time closing. Here one request and I can do many requests, and after some time that connection will be closed. So this is the difference between multiple connections and persistent connection. Now URL, Uniform Resource Locator. Hope you are familiar with it. URL. What is this? What is this? Incomplete, what you say this one?
Unique web address.
Yes. Anybody else?
Address of my web browser.
Great. Address. So basically that is the uniform resource locator. Through that we are locating. See this picture. URL. Uniform resource locator. URL is the address of a specific web page. Yes. So that address can be of an URL, a video, an image, or a GIF file on the internet. So if you see, there are different parts in the complete URL, and you should know what is this, what is this, what is this, what is this. If I'm searching, suppose that you are in somewhere, Amazon.com I'm opening, right? Amazon.com, right? What is this? GUTKGN. I'm searching something, bot, right? You see here URL, then there are question marks, then some values, right? So every part has some meaning in this URL. This is known as a scheme, this is known as the authority, this is known as the path, this is known as the parameter, this is known as the anchor. So let us see in some detail. Here, this is scheme. Scheme can be HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, right? Or So this is known as the scheme, Indic protocol for accessing a resource. Authority. The complete URL from here to here is known as the authority, and this contains subdomain, domain, top level domain, country code, top level domain, and port. So this is 4 parts are here now. You see www is subdomain. Example is the domain. .com is the top level domain or country code top level domain, and this one is port.
Port.
Yes. Not sure why this disappeared. So you see now this is www. This is the subdomain. This is the subdomain, right? And this is the most popular subdomain is the www. It stands for World Wide Web, communicating that the URL is a web address, right? Why it's not coming? So I'm just telling you that one. It's already here, and so domain. What was domain? This. Suppose that you have google.com, the Google is the domain. So each domain is unique. So whenever you type it, you reference a specific website you intended to visit. Then there is top level domain and country code top level domain. What it means? Top level means TLD, right? What was that? This .com. You see, sometimes you see .com, there is some .org, .in, .us, .info. So these are known as top level domain, TLD, right? And if that, sometimes there is in, right? In
Yes, yes,
in yeah, in US, UK, org. So the most common ones which can have website use them are like .com for commercial websites, .org for non-profit organization, .net software and hosting companies provide network services, edu for education institutes, .gov government agency and departments. Additionally, there are country code top level domains, CCTLDs, like UK, DE, UK for United Kingdom, D for Germany, CN for China, CA for Canada, IN for India, ES for Spain, EU for Australia, NG for New Zealand, right? So these are known as the CCTLDs. Port. So here in this example, this 443 is the port. So every website where you are trying to access now, always one port is mentioned. If I'm not providing any port, it means here I'm not given any port in this website, right? So by default it's using 80 or 8000 port. If port is not given. My voice is echoing. Can you please mute yourself? So port is the numerical identifier that specifies a particular gateway for directing traffic to your web server. So something is coming to your website, right? You're typing google.com, connecting to the Google server. What will happen? It will try to access the server. So there was some points identifier. This request is coming to on this gateway, and that gateway has some number. Like I'm typing only google.com. So by default that is 80 port. So that is gateway providing access to the server. It's like a door people pass through to visit a website. Most of the time you don't see the port number in the URL because they are using a standard ports. Which browser assume that by default is 80 for HTTP and 4434 for HTTPS. Path. I'm not sure why this all disappeared. So you see, this is the path. Once you go to the website, there will be some folders inside the server, and in that folder some HTML pages are stored on the server. So this is the folder on the server, and within that my HTML files are stored, which I am loading in my browser, right? If you're sending some request, you see there is comma, there is question mark, then there is key 1, value 1, then key 2, value 2. In this form, you can send the request to the server. You see here, question mark, then k equal to boat, so that server can understand that what request you are sending to the server. Clear?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Now, web server. What is web server? Anybody can help me to understand what is web server?
So where all the requests are processed.
Right. The server which is serving to you, the web server which is serving a request. I'm typing google.com, searching something. Now who is giving the results in my browser? Web server, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So web server is a program which processes the network request of the users and serves them with the files that create web pages. This exchange takes place using HTTP, right? Basically, web servers are computers used to store HTTP files, which makes a website. And when a client requests a certain website, it delivers the requested website to the client, right? So whatever you type in the URL, whatever the URL you type in the browser, request go to the web server. Web server is look into, then get the files, what are the files stored on that server, send you the response, and it display in your browser. And what protocols web server using to send your response to you?
HTTP.
HTTP.
HTTP,
Yes.
yes.
Why this all happened? 1 second. Let me check. Just stopping for a few seconds. Images should not like this with this. So due to some reasons the pictures are not visible, so I'm sharing some different way. My screen is visible, right?
No, sir.
No, sir, not yet. Sir.
Now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir.
So, You see, I have some pictures here. Apache, Light HTTPD, Microsoft IIS, Jigsaw, Sun Microsystem. So all these provides us web servers. This is Apache web server. As you are going to deal with a PHP, and so most of the time you will use Apache web server for the PHP development, where your files will be hosted, and Apache will help to load those files or those website into the browser. Apache, this is a free web server. Light HTTP is also free web server. Microsoft IIS, this is paid one, right? Then there is Jigsaw, this is also web server. Sun Microsystem also provide web servers to parse their Java related files, web files, right? So these are the web servers. Now, web browser. What are the web browsers? Simple or complex thing? Web browsers. What is web
So
browser?
where we type our requests.
Yes, these are the softwares or applications where you type your request in the browser, right? And you got the response there. So browser takes you anywhere on the internet, letting you see text, images, video from anywhere in the world. How does web browser works? How does a web browser works? When the web browser fetches data from an internet connected to the server, it uses a piece of the software called a rendering engine. So every browser has some rendering engine, right? Like this is the Amazon, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I have only typed amazon.com in my browser. Amazon.com sends some data, right? But in my browser it's looking like this. So whatever the HTML and everything, tags or HTML format they have sent the data, there is a rendering engine in my browser which is rendering and displaying the content in my browser. Someone is processing, that's why displaying contents here. In browser, browser has this capacity, this power. Whatever some code is coming from the web server, browser is taking into and rendering or parsing. Here it's displaying image, here displaying some text. So that processing is happening in your browser through rendering engine. This data is written in hypertext markup language. So what web servers return to you? When you type a URL in your browser, web server returns you data in the form of HTML. And your browser can render that HTML through the render engine. Yeah, that rendering engine. So every browser has this capacity. Either you're opening in this website in Firefox or Chrome or Opera or Safari. Every browser has that rendering engine. Whatever the HTML is coming, that engine is rendering and displaying in your browser. And in what format data sent by the web server to your browser? No. That is HTML. The complete information is in. This data is written in hypertext markup language, and web browsers read this code to create what we see, hear, and experience on the internet. This is something amazing. Now keep using browser, but do you ever think that how everything is started to display in my browser? Files are or data are on the website, web server of Amazon. You just connected, and everything came to your laptop, and you can see. So basically, some HTML is coming from there. At my rendering engine, each browser has rendering engine, and that rendering engine is making sure that according to the HTML sent by the web server, it should display here, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great. Now next thing is a domain name system. It's also gone. Where my picture's gone? Strange. Where? So you see here, this is visible to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Suppose as we are talking about DNS, that DNS we are talking now. Suppose you have to call to your friend. Do you think it's easy to remember every friend's number in your mind? You have 100 friends. So either you'll have phone book or you'll store in your mobile by his name,
Yes,
that
sir.
this is the person name and this is his mobile number, right? You search the name, and so by searching the name you call to the mobile number or call to that person?
That person.
No.
That
Mobile number.
We call that mobile number, right?
Yes.
So similarly, if you see if I am loading this website www.google.com, I am typing this one, and you know every website has some IP address. So as we already discussed this one, that websites are only loaded through the IP address, but you as a user, you can't remember all the IP address of the websites. So domain name system, or you can say domain name servers, store those all information here, right?
Yes, sir.
You are trying to access www.google.com, so your browser will first look into the DNS, that what is the IP of this domain, then it will return the IP to your browser, then through the IP it will connect to the Google website. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So DNS is like a phone, like you have phone book, similarly you have DNS book. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now it's loading. I don't know what was the problem. So we're talking about web server. This is the basically web server image I was missing. When you connect through the browser, it will come to the internet, and then web server loads your website. These are some web servers example I've given you. Web browser, then domain name system, right? So here is the one example. Whatever the website you are trying to load, you type google.com, it will return the IP address, and then it will load your website in browser, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is DNS? DNS is the internet naming service that maps human-friendly domain names to machine-readable IP address.
IP address.
When a user enters a domain in the browser has to translate the domain name to IP address.
IP address.
By asking the DNS infrastructure. There should be somewhere now there is an infrastructure where everything is maintained. Once the desired IP is obtained from where?
Domain.
From DNS infrastructure, right?
Mhm.
The user's request is forwarded to the destination web server, because web server is only identified by IP address, and DNS is helping to find the
IP address.
IP address. DNS is helping to find the IP address.
Address.
See this picture and see what is happening. Are you getting some clarity here? When you're typing google.com, what is happening?
A query is sent to internet service provider.
First is the DNS query to ISP. So there is possibility that for every domain name, that google.com, the corresponding IP can be found at ISP also, internet service provider. Like Airtel, broadband Airtel is providing internet services, right? So if you are browsing the website through the Airtel internet, there is possibility that you're typing google.com, corresponding IP address may be found in ISP as well. If it's find the ISP there, it will return to the browser. If not found, it will again search to the search will go to
DNS infrastructure.
DNS infrastructure. And once it finds the
IP address.
IP address of that google.com, it will come to the ISP, and then it will come to the browser, and then browser again send to the request using that IP to the ISP and ISP to the
Web server.
web servers.
Web server.
So this single picture is telling all the story of HTTP.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Give me 2 minutes, keep looking into this picture. Give me 2 minutes. So anybody, any confusion on this picture? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any confusion on this picture?
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
So here ISP also contains that mapping of domain name and IP address, and DNS infrastructure is definitely have those all IP addresses and their corresponding domain name, right? So ISPs keep updating their records. Suppose a new website has been launched. If any new website has been launched, so now I think I have to sit down. So any website, suppose that a new website had been launched. So definitely the domain name and IP address will be at the DNS infrastructure, right? So if you are opening a website, very new website, whose data is only here, so ISP will have definitely those not mapping, right? ISP do not know about that website. So you to look into DNS infrastructure, get that mapping of domain name and IP, update this ISP table also updated. So in the future, if any request come to for that website, the name can be resolved here only. Got my point? Is this something confusing, or should I explain more on this one? The mapping between IP and domain name and mapping between IP and domain name at a DNS infrastructure and ISP. Are you mute or? I'm not able to hear anybody.
Yes, sir, audible.
Audible.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, who is taking care of this DNS infrastructure? Anybody can tell me? Sorry? Anybody? Anybody? Most welcome for the answer.
ISP provider. Yeah.
Who provides?
ISP provider.
ISP. Suppose that there is a website and that I am using different ISP in different countries, right? But those tables are temporary. Always it's coming from DNS infrastructure. So this is difference. This is master table, you can say that, and this is handled by ICANN. ICANN is the global non-profit organization responsible for coordinating the Internet's core system of unique identifier, most notably the DNS. So ICANN hosts and manage this infrastructure.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
The entire operation is performed very quickly. Like you see, your typing address, I am just typing address and Amazon is loading.
Yes, sir.
What happens?
Yes,
I
sir.
typed here. First there was a DNS query. It went to the ISP. ISP has the mapping table and it is giving IP address to again your browser, and then you are sending the request through your ISP to Amazon server, right?
Yes.
Website.
Yes, sir.
And then it's returning the data to your browser. It's happening in such a fast way, so fast that you are not experiencing any delay. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any question? So some little knowledge about DNS. What is the DNS? First of all, it contains the name servers. So we are talking about this infrastructure, right?
Yes.
So definitely it has some servers. That's why those all websites, IP address and mapping, everything is stored here, na? So some servers will be there here also.
Yes.
So there are different name servers with whom your request is connected. So those are known as the name servers. Then there are resource records. There are different types of like IP address mapping in the form of RRR. The RRR is the smallest unit of information that users request from the name servers. There is caching also. DNS uses caching at different layers to reduce request latency for the user. Caching plays an important role in reducing the burden on DNS infrastructure because it has to cater the queries of the entire network. So what do you think? How many websites in this world? How many websites in world? Any count?
Billion.
1.13 billion
Billions.
website.
Websites.
Yes.
By February 2023, of which 82% were deactivated, which means around 20 million websites are active.
Active.
These are only
Activate.
so these websites mapping which IP address, which domain is managing by this one, right?
DNS infrastructure.
DNS server. So if you suppose that google.com came here, it should return the IP address. So here, instead of going into the database of this server, there is some caching. Caching means do not need to go to the database. It will look into the is that already requested, and that will serve data from there instead of querying into the server of this DNS infrastructure. So this will help to fast delivery of information from DNS. So that is the role of caching. So we are talking about this resource records now. DNS database store domain name to IP address mapping in the form of RRR.
Resource.
Resource records, right? See here. There are different types of resource. A record, NS, CNAME, MX. A records means provide hostname to IP address mapping. It's IP address. So whenever you have some server, you put these details, right? Then basically these records are maintained in a where your domain is registered. Whether it A record, NS or CNAME MX, all are maintained where your domain is registered. You can buy a domain. What is the meaning of buying a domain? Who helps to buy the domains? Anybody know? What about GoDaddy?
Yes, sir.
So from here you can book your name, right?
Yes, sir.
And once you book your name, that domain name server, I can register that information, right? Once you book,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
book your purchase your domain, you can now take the hosting where your files will be stored. And here, wherever you book the domain, you have to put the information about that server to the domain. So these all information are added where your domain is registered. This is something long term, but also it's related to hierarchy. What is hierarchy? See this one. So root DNS server, then .com, then the actual name. So whenever your request is coming to the domain name server, it looks in this way. Is this www or root? What type of domain is this? Top level domain, is this .com or .net or .edu? And then what is the actual domain name? So domain name server stored and send the response from this storage. There is another example here. This is example from Amazon. How, if you're hosting a website on Amazon, how it works. You are typing a website, you are the person, right? You are typing a website whose name is www.example.com, right?
Yes, sir.
Then it's go to the DNS server, and first it look into this one, this .com, only .com, right?
Yes, sir.
Then thereafter again the IP that name is sent. Now it will look into the name server.
Name server.
First it will go to the root server and then it will go to the name server
Name server.
Names.
on the DNS server, right? Then
Right.
again request will come to this Amazon Route 53 server, and this will respond the IP address of the website, right? And here there will be DNS resolver. This is internal to Amazon, but this is the public IP address which will return to the user. Means this public is related to this IP internally to the Amazon, right? So people will be able to see this IP. Then whatever you want to load and see, web server respond and load those picture, images, whatever in your system. So this is the working of DNS in AWS server. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is something theoretical, so I understand this is something going to be little boring, right? Or are able to understand?
Yes.
What new you got from this DNS? What you understood? Anything new you can share with me?
Um,
DNS you understood?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
How your browsers connect to the web server you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Great. Now responsive design. Who will help me to understand responsive design? What is the meaning of responsive design?
Giving feedback.
Sorry?
Sir, it means a design that will suit every screen size.
Very nice, very nice. Who has responded? I want to see. Who has responded? Priyansu?
No, sir, me, Molly Datta.
Molly. Okay. Actually, Priyansu was blinking here. No? Okay, Molly. Great answer. Then that is the best answer you have given.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So, if you see any website, I'm just opening. This is the Amazon website, right? I've opened this website in my browser. Suppose there's someone. Here you see inspect button is link is there.
Yes, sir.
I'm clicking inspect. You see now this screen. Here responsive, right? So here if you see
Yes, sir.
increase and decrease the width of the website, it keeps showing some better way. It's not like that if size of the screen is this screen, I can see the elements. If this still I can see some better way. So this website is fit in the every type of screen. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Let me give you another example. I'm not sure this website is. See this GoDaddy website. This is responsive or not responsive?
Not responsive.
It's little
Okay.
responsive but not fully responsive. I can see this,
Yes.
I can see this, but these images are not. I'm not sure.
Hi Jay, this is Samini here.
Yeah.
I'll just send a Teams invite, Jay. Just need your 5-10 minutes of time. At 5:45, maybe in 2-3 minutes. I just wanted the IT team to have a word with you regarding the labs.
Okay, so
Okay.
with the complete team, complete audience.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll make it.
Somini,
yes,
can we push that to 6 o'clock, Somini, so that
No,
Jay can finish?
please, yeah. The last 10 minutes we'll take it up because they want to have it immediately.
So we can
By-
end the session, right? Then,
Yeah, they can enter the session.
yeah, okay, Jay, then.
Yeah.
So should I take it till 6 p.m.?
Okay, just give me a minute. I'll just confirm you. Just give me 1 or 2 minutes time. I'll confirm you.
Okay.
Okay, 6 o'clock. Anyways, it'll end, right? Okay, I'll try to push it for 6 only then, case, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'll wait.
Yes. So you see, now it's cutting down. Sometimes it's loading, sometimes not loading. Maybe some issue, but it look like this is responsive. Maybe there is some loading issue. So, meaning of responsive website that I'm designing a website in such a way that according to the layout of the according to the screen size, my website is loading in such a way that I can easily see those information in a very efficient way. Something is not like disappeared, not the information cut down. Like see, one boots, one is bootstrap.com and bootstrap. Not sure why. I think okay, this one is the bootstrap. Get bootstrap. This is the one website, Get Bootstrap. In the future, we will know about this website, which is helping to create you responsive website, right? So definitely this is the bootstrap, so it should be also responsive. So let us see this website. You see?
Yes, sir.
If I'm closing normal way, it's look like this in my laptop or laptop or desktop. But if I want to see responsiveness of my website, I'll inspect, and if I click this one in my Chrome, here you can see different resolutions are here. This is the width and this is the vertical, right? So if you're changing here, it's changing the width, right? And see, this website is fitting to the different resolutions. Probably my laptop is running from from 8 a.m. in the morning, 10 hours. So that is, I think, slow down. So you see, so this is the responsiveness of a website. I'm changing the resolution of a screen, and the website is still loading in such a nice way that it will be readable and viewable by every type of user, whether that person is accessing this website in mobile, accessing this website in tab, or accessing this website in laptop or larger screen. Everywhere this will come nice. So you are clear about responsive website?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this
Yes,
is
sir.
this is known as the responsiveness of a website. Now, what was this? I think I've created some contents. So I've given some definition here. I think you already understood. So responsive web design. Responsive web design is about creating web pages that looks good on all devices. A responsive web design will automatically adjust for different screen size and viewports. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
anybody,
sir.
so anybody,
sir.
can,
Yes,
anybody,
sir.
can, yeah, great. So anybody can tell me what are those things to be taken care so that my website should be responsive. Although we have to already going to cover these things in my. Anybody had tried to create a responsive website? Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Please mute yourself if someone is talking. Have you ever created any pages in responsive manner? Anybody tried?
So I have seen somewhere in videos that it is being made with the help of CSS.
Yes, with the help
The
of CSS.
media query we may use
Media query, very
Yeah.
nice.
to create
Media query,
responsive.
media query for different resolutions, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So actually, what happens when you write the media query and you write the CSS for that in the media query? If this is the resolution, this is the size of my image. If this is the resolution, should be the size of the fonts. If this is the resolution, this should be size of the background. So everything is adjusting according to the media query, whatever written there, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now one theoretical topic which is very interesting. Who will tell me about web standards? I am opening a website. This getbootstrap.com, right? Where I've opened this one, in which browser? Anybody can tell me? This in Chrome, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Chrome browser.
Now I am opening same website in my Safari.
Okay, sir.
This is Safari browser.
Yes.
This is also loading here. This is also loading here. Chrome is developed by Google. Safari is developed by. Who has developed Safari? Safari browser. Apple.
Yes, sir.
And even you can Microsoft Edge, developed by Microsoft. So you think same website is loading same way in different browsers, right?
Yes, sir.
Even they are the different companies. This website was created by who has created this website? The company name was Bootstrap, right? Bootstrap team
Yes.
has created this website hosted on the server. Now I am loading. Someone is loading in Safari, someone is loading in Chrome, someone is loading in Firefox, someone is loading in Microsoft Edge. everywhere this website is loading and look like this same way, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
definite. So how this
Yes,
is
sir.
how this all the company knows that this is coming and this website is coming and I have to display same way. How those companies are making sure? How Google know that this when this website will come, I will display similar to every browser, because every browser is following some same standards. If this HTML will come, my browser will parse and display this one, right? If if you write any HTML code, I'm simple writing on boilerplate code. You see, this is the HTML, simple HTML.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Hello world.
Yes, sir.
Here HTML is written, head is written, meta is written, title written, head written, body written, hello world written. So it means every browser is understanding this one. That's why it's parsing. Because every web server is sending the loading, whatever the my browser is loading is coming in the form of HTML.
HTML.
And every HTML has such tags. These are known as tags, right? So every browser is understanding these tags, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If every browser can understand these tags, so someone has defined some rules for these tags. If someone is in body tag, your browser will do this. If someone is writing meta tag or title tag, if you are developing a browser, Safari or Chrome or Firefox, that browser will do this task, right?
Right, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the meaning of a standard is a blueprint or building blocks of a consistent and harmonious digitally connected world. They are implemented in browsers, blogs, search engines, and other software that power our experience on the web. Same website you are able to see in Chrome, same site you are able to see in the Firefox, same site you can see in the Safari, same look and feel. Means they all are following some standards.
Yes.
So these are the web standards.
Yes, sir.
So this is a long story I have taken from somewhere. So I'm just talking about in 2 minutes. So basically in 1989, someone from Europe at CERN who was working in a physics laboratory, Tim Berners-Lee, first he invented Inquire, right? Later on, this is known as the World Wide Web. And he written some specifications for HTTP and HTML, right? That what should be the HTML tags, what is the meaning of HTML tags, what are the HTTP should do, and those are the standards written at that time, and keep developing by time, and so that World Wide Web is the body who keep writing, keep standards, upgrading that, and now this is known as the W3 recommendations, right? So whenever this W3 recommendation published, these recommendations are used by all those companies who are developing the browsers, right? And they implement in their browser. So some common type of W3 standards are HTML. This is the body tag. There are lots of tags, in HTML. table, tr, td. Heard about that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So all are defined like in HTML, right? The standards are in HTML. So first HTML3 cam, HTML4 cam, HTML5 cam. So right now people are using HTML5, right? Different versions of HTML created by W3C. And those are all implemented by browser companies, and we write that use the tags, we write, we host the website. When loading in the browser, the meaning of that tag is defined by the browser company, and they parse and display the content accordingly, right?
Yes.
Then
Yes, sir.
then other standard, the XMLs, XHTML, combination of XML and HTML. Then there are also some standards written for the CSS, how to write the CSS. This W3 standards define what is the meaning of different CSSs, and they use. Then there is a WCAG standard also. So this is basically for the disabled person, that how the disabled persons can access the website so that they are able to understand and use the advantage of internet. So all those standards are defined in WCAG 2.0, right? Thank you.